Essentially, what we started putting together about 6-7 months ago plans to be the largest automotive event of its kind on the East Coast. It was actually famously driven by Michael Schumacher. This is maybe a unicorn for me. This is one of two Diablo GT produced in blue and white. So we are testing a car that we brought here specifically for the Moda Miami event. This is a car that the partners and I own out of Europe. We purchased it, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. It's one of the manual transmission LP640 built, super low mileage car, and it is one of the only examples finished in Grigio Telesto. What I loved about it is, if you remember Batman Dark Knight.
Will you be wanting the back pod, sir?
Middle of the day, Alfred? Not very subtle.
The Lamborghini then? Much more subtle.
Dark Knight car was this exact spec, manual transmission, European LP640 Grigio Telesto. So there's a very, very cool connection there of what this car represents, and God only knows where that original Dark Knight car is. I think it was was wrecked. They actually used 4 in filming, but it's really cool to have this car in the US right now. We are actually on our way now in Coral Gables to the Biltmore. Essentially, what we started putting together about 6-7 months ago plans to be the largest automotive event of its kind on the East Coast, and really something that no one has ever even tried to or attempted to accomplish, really merging the best of the best cars, one of what I believe is the best locations in the world in Coral Gables, and then really fusing some of the greatest restaurants and culinary experiences in Miami. Imagine there's a class that's all Pebble Beach winners. Imagine there's 2 days of an RM Sotheby's auction. So we're talking just this insane sensory experience. It's March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. We're about 30 days away now from the event itself, and this is going to be something like the world has never seen. So part of what Curated's role is to actually help organize a few of the classes. A ton of our clients have registered now. What I'm probably most excited about is our goal is to organize one of the best Lamborghini classes that has ever been organized in the US. We're going out to all of our Diablo GT owners, all of our special Diablo owners. We've already got some incredible cars registered, a blue Tahiti Mura SV, the famous Verde Countach LP400S, the unseen LP640 manual in blue Eli. This is a car that I don't think has ever been seen in public. It's still with its original owner. That will be at the event. This will be at the event. And we're hoping for a grouping of some of the wildest colors, the best Lamborghini examples in the country. So we're putting that together. In addition, what's wild is this supercar class and this hypercar class has attracted cars like a McLaren F1, multiple 959s. It's just gonna be a complete insane experience of the greatest cars. So I'm super excited. And I think I'm most excited to see how many pre-merger AMG examples we're gonna gather and how many Diablo GTs we're gonna gather for this event. I would say there's probably very few events in the world that have a location like this. You could say Villa d'Este, the Cavallino event at the Breakers, but this is insane. Imagine this backdrop. Imagine these are all the VIP experiences up here, and then you've got the auction over there, and then you have all the cars. So this property is just absolutely insane, and if you look, this is gonna be completely wild. At one point, not anymore, but this was actually one of the largest pools in the country. So they're gonna actually do some water acrobats and things like that here. There'll be some great activations out here. It's insane, right? Days, and you're gonna have some of the best cars in the world here. 2 days of auctions, culinary experiences. I'm excited to see it all come together. I actually started my career hosting car events. So while I'm not actually gonna be on the ground handling daily logistics like I would years ago, it's just an honor to be part of this event and watch it come to fruition. And then imagine in 2 weeks, we have our traditional Miami Concours event, which is not traditional at all. It's more of like really a fun, you know, almost a party inside the Miami Design District on the red carpet, you know, 100+ cars, a lot of hypercars and supercars, a totally different style of event. It's a free event for the local region, and it's funny, all of these events really, you know, people ask me why I do them. They're very stressful. There's a lot of moving pieces. The reality is to build the car community for the next generation. And I look at these events as they're just like planting seeds for the future. And we still have some really incredible cars coming in. One of the cars, I'm so excited to share it with everybody. It's funny, this car appeared out of nowhere, and it's always a car that I wonder what happened to it, but it's the actual Diablo VT that was the press car for Lamborghini in 1994, a silver coupe, silver on black coupe, that was actually famously driven by Michael Schumacher during a magazine press test where he drove an EB110, an XJ220, a Porsche 964 Turbo S, and the Diablo. And what's so cool about this car is there's some great photos of Michael sitting with the car, driving the car. And after that test, he actually ended up ordering an EB110 SS, famous yellow blue car. There's a lot of great photos of that car. And I think today, I mean, you look at stories and these cars that have great provenance. Last week, the Donald Trump Lamborghini Diablo Roadster sold for a world record of 1.1 million, which was, I mean, what a number. I actually loved the car. It did need a new interior, but I loved the car because of its color. It was the only car produced in Blue Le Mans for the US as a roadster. There was some fake news about the car. Someone from Barrett-Jackson actually said it was the only Diablo ever produced in that color. No, it's not true. There was a ton of European cars produced in Blue Le Mans. At least 10 or 15, and there was actually 1 or 2 Diablo SVs produced in Blue Le Mans for the US as well. I do believe it was the only roadster for the US, but nonetheless, fantastic car. There's some great period photos of him, but yeah, very, very cool part of Lambo history, and now a further testament to cars with a great story. Insane fascination with collecting Lamborghini artifacts. These are actually prototype keychains. This is the official factory keychain that was used, and then these were prototypes in different colors. And this is super cool. This is one of the original 30th anniversary jackets. I knew what it was exactly when I saw it. This is a piece of the original factory floor from the original production line. So they gave me this, and I continue to collect all weird stuff. But what's super cool that I wanted to show you guys, and I've had this, so it's not this actual book, but I've had one of these since I've been a kid, and I actually gave my copy to a really cool client. I sold him an SE 30 years ago. This is the green, you'll see the green famous Paris Auto Show car we have right now. But here she is, the Diablo VT Auto build, it talks about driven by Michael Schumacher. Here's a great picture of Michael Schumacher and Valentino Balboni. They brought it to the south of France. I love these old yearbooks because they really tell a story of a lot of different cars. And actually, I'm gonna show you guys, here she is. And here's the famous green carte blanche program, the Paris Auto Show car. That's now inside the showroom. I've talked about that as being one of my favorite. And this, interesting to note, this is the actual SE30 prototype. That car was shipped to the US for basically the showing at Pebble that year, and the first time the SE30 was shown. So that's the 94 yearbook in Alcantara, which is super cool. So that's the judges for the 22 Miami Concours. That was actually a cool year because we have Jim Glickenhaus showed his cars. We had a ton of really, and actually there's some pretty well-known figures. Luigi Cinetti. I agree. We haven't really talked about this car until about a week ago on social media. I've got a good friend. He's actually not even a client until this car. And he has an incredible collection of Bianco metallic white cars. He's got Ferrari and all these really incredible cars, SP3 Daytona, 599 GTO. This is maybe a unicorn for me. This is one of two Diablo GT produced in balloon white. We chased either of these cars, let's call it, for almost 3 years for him. And then I got a call one day. It's so special to be able to fulfill this dream for him because he's a friend. This is the first time we've ever done a deal. And it's super cool to see this joining his collection. I think this is going to be part of his forever collection. The color is absolutely beautiful. It works so well on this car because you see all the carbon accents. So it's cool. So both, no, the other Diablo GT in balloon white is in Europe. This car was in Japan. We had the opportunity to buy this car. A really nice overall condition. Car number 72. We have to change. Someone at some point painted the calipers red, so we have to do that. We have to do a major service, fresh tires. We're going to do a sport exhaust for him. It's so stunning. We'll get this dialed in. And this will actually be on display at Moda as well, which would be really cool. We're trying to set up the class. And then behind us, the other Diablo GT. This is the Black Rage car. So this is a metallic black. If you look closely, it's a bluish metallic black. Stunning color. Very cool. It doesn't show all the details and the carbon features. This car is going to need a major service. We've got to refinish the wheels, but hopefully this will be done before Moda as well, and will be on display with all of the Diablo GTs, which I'm really excited to present because not many people in the U.S. I think at one point there was 6 or 7 cars. Today, through the show and display law, there's probably, I would say, 15 or 16 cars in the U.S. Diablo GTs. So we're going to try to get them all together. Wow.